Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about for better or worse. When we think of our childhood, is it actually better? Is today worse? And of course, that's a very complex thing. We've got a lot of details. We can say this is better and this is worse or whatever, but I'm just going to talk about a few things and give my overall impression here. Because what I went and bought a pack of those ice cream sandwiches the other day, and it's a familiar brand that I love. Ice cream sandwiches is one of my favorite things, and it's a familiar brand that I've bought throughout the years. I've been eating these same ice cream sandwiches since I was a kid, and but I haven't, just for whatever reason, I haven't done it for, I don't know, several years, many years. I haven't bought these ice cream sandwiches, but it's the same brand and all that I've always eaten. So I buy these ice cream sandwiches and I bring them home, and I open the first one up and I take a bite of it, and it just doesn't taste the same, you know, and the texture isn't the same. And then my wife asked for a bite, so I hand it to her, and she makes a face and, says, "This isn't good. This tastes like, chemicals or something." And I was like, "What, yeah, you're right. It's just not the same. It's not as good." Now, it wasn't bad per se, but it wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't that same old ice cream sandwich I'd always bought. And then after she said that, I started paying attention to it while I was eating, and the ice cream was softer and creamier, and it just didn't taste the same as it used to. It was okay. It just wasn't delicious. It wasn't the same ice cream sandwich that I've always eaten. I just love those things, even though I know I said I haven't bought them in years, but I just got on this kick where I would buy these organic ice cream and stuff in the bucket, in the tub, and I quit buying that kind of processed ice cream sandwich stuff. I just figured I would this time. It's been so many years since I had one, and now I realize why I stopped buying them. But anyway, the texture was weird. It wasn't the same as it used to be. It wasn't an ice cream texture. I remember back when I was a kid, and I put ice cream in the freezer, and it would freeze hard and shit. I remember cutting it, digging it out of there with a knife, and cutting the carton and cutting it, trying to cut the ice cream with a knife to eat it. So that has changed. They've put additives or something in there to make sure that the ice cream doesn't freeze hard anymore. And all the ice cream I buy, you can just scoop it out now with a spoon. You don't have to struggle getting it out of the container. And that just tells me that's not real ice cream. I remember back when I was a kid, and reading the ingredients on the label and stuff, and it was just milk and cream and sugar and whatever, vanilla flavoring or whatever. That was it. That was all that was in ice cream. Now you've got all these preservatives and weird shit in there. So then I'm thinking about this, and now these kids born in today's world, this new shit, this kind of fake, soft, creamy stuff, that's ice cream to them. They're growing up with it. They like it, right? But to me, it's fake. There's something off about it. There's something not right. Even though it doesn't taste horrible, right? The texture's not right. It's just that soft, creamy texture that might be attractive and enjoyable to a lot of people, especially if you're younger and you've never had real ice cream. That texture is just, it's not real to me, it's just fake. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just inauthentic. And I wish that I had the old ice cream. I'd buy those ice cream sandwiches with old, actual ice cream in between the chocolate bread, and and it would be a solid thing. I would have to bite through it as if it were like a regular, sandwich. You would have to bite through the damn thing. And they were good. I like chewing on them and stuff. They were good if you ate them fast enough before they started to melt. And now this ice cream nowadays doesn't even really melt like it used to. It's weird. I'm not sure what all they put in it, monosulfate, glyco bullshit, preservatives, and all this weird shit. And then I've seen things online where they'll put stuff out and the ants won't even eat it. You put it, like some margarine and then next to some butter, and the ants won't even touch the margarine, and the butter will be covered in ants. Because ants eat food. They don't eat this weird shit that they're making. Ants want real food. And to me, that back then, the textures and the taste of our food was just better. It was better. Not only that, I firmly believe that it was healthier for you. It was better for you. It helped you live a longer, healthier life. These chemicals they're putting in our food now, they're not meant to be ingested by any living organism. It's not food. It's not fuel for organic life. They're chemicals. It's just so. I think that in that way, especially that. The 70s, the 80s, and before that the older times were just better. Our food was just better. Yes, I understand that younger people are born into this and they don't know better. So, this is natural to them. This is real to them. They don't know what better is like we do. They don't have that experience with real food. All they have is this fake shit. So, and younger people don't understand. You tell them, that you had to actually chop the ice cream out of the container, and they'll think that just sounds like the worst thing in the world. But it was well worth it. I would trade that ice cream in a heartbeat for this crap they're giving us now. In a heartbeat. I'll take my lumps digging it out of there because it was so much better. It tasted good. The texture was better. It was better for me. Just all the way around. And that can be said for so many things throughout our lives. And I keep harping on the whole convenience thing. Yeah, it's more convenient and easier to just scoop these chemicals right out of the container and flop it in there. And yeah, that everybody wants easy now. Anything that is more difficult, everybody seems to take the easy path without even thinking about it, right? It's just so much easier to pay a monthly subscription and live stream stuff than it is to go somewhere and buy something or get up off the couch and put a DVD in the tray. So the convenience and the easy factor, I think, is a really subtle but dark tool that's being used. But anyway, I don't want to get off, and this isn't about conspiracy theories this episode. I was trying not to go down that road, but I can't help it sometimes. But yeah, so it's the same way with movies and stuff, right? With television, whatever, entertainment. We've got so much more available now, okay? But is it better? Because okay, say a starving man or a man dying of thirst in the desert, okay? He has very little water. He's got to walk a long way to get to an oasis or something, right? And somebody shows up and offers him a cool glass of water with ice in it and the condensation running down the glass, and he takes a drink of that water. That water is going to be delicious. It's going to be delicious. Best thing he ever tasted. Now you offer somebody who's just soaked to the skin in the middle of a rainstorm and go offer them the same glass of water in the middle of that rainstorm. They're probably not even going to want it. No thanks, man. I'm good. I'm so, I don't need any water right now. And that's the difference with all this media and entertainment. We're just deluged with it now. So it's not as good. It just doesn't feel as good just because of the amount of it. Just because it's everywhere. You got it on your phone, you got it on your tablet, you got it on your TV, your computer, everywhere. You go to the doctor's office, they got a TV hanging on the wall. You go to wherever you go, there's a TV hanging on the wall playing some shit, and it's just everywhere. You watch it in your car. You can't hardly get away from it now. So back then in the 70s and 80s, you go to Blockbuster and you finally get that glass of water. You get you a VHS tape and you get to watch a movie. The movie was better because you've been expecting it. You've been looking forward to it all week. Or they've been advertising a movie to play, on the weekend. Or you're waiting for the next episode of Dukes of Hazzard to come on because the last episode ended in a cliffhanger. So that kind of thing. There was expectation, and it just wasn't just everywhere. We weren't just flooded with choice and entertainment and spoiled by choice. That's the term. We're spoiled for choice now because it's just everywhere, and there's so much of it and so many choices that everybody's spoiled, and and that's just part of the reason the entertainment industry sucks now. Part of the reason movies suck now. That's then you add in all the other shit, the shit that the entertainment industry is actually doing, and it just multiplies that effect. But my point is that back then we were in an entertainment desert, and when we got some entertainment, it was, we liked it more just because we didn't have it as much. We were out playing in the woods or playing in the yard or, jumping bikes in the street or doing whatever all day. And then you come in and you watch, your episode of Knight Rider or whatever. And it was awesome. I mean, awesome. You sit there and hold your pee and go run to the bathroom during the commercial. Yeah. So I think that entertainment was better back then for more reasons than just the straight up quality of the entertainment. There were a lot more factors that went into it. And part of that being that it was just more rare, and rare things are more valuable. And our healthcare, you would actually go to a doctor, or in a lot of places, especially out in the country, the doctor would come to your house. But you go to the doctor and you would know the person. It wasn't just like some stranger you saw once a year or something. You would know the person. You'd bump into the neighborhood doctor. You'd bump into him at the grocery store or at the post office or at the bank or whatever. You'd see him around. And that kind of thing, that actually the doctor actually cared for you as an individual person. And that is completely gone. You're just a number, you're a insurance form or whatever, that they don't care. They just go by, they have a book they go by and they look the shit up and you get this pill, and that's it. And it's just like like running cattle through a chute. They don't know anything about you. Your kids aren't going to school with their kids or any shit like that. That's it. You get to see them for 10, 15 minutes, whatever, in that office, and they prescribe you a pill, and you're gone, and you don't see them again for a couple months. There's no humanity there. There's no human connection there, right? And I think that was a lot better back then. Yes, once again, it is more convenient. Yeah, you're in and out. You know what I mean? You don't, and they've got the teledoc visits now where you can just see them online. And that is highly convenient. But the trade-off, I think, is significant. I don't think the trade-off is equal, because that human connection, that caring, the actual caring is how can you put a value on that? And a lot of people might disagree with me about the phones, but I think phones were better back then. I think that design, that whole thing, the way, not the physical structure of the phone, but the technology, the way it worked and everything, I think that was just better. I like that better. I don't like this whole idea of being called at, any time of day or night, and my phone ringing. Now I don't get woke up in the middle of the night. I turn that shit off. But I don't take my phone to bed with me and shit like some people do. But I'll be out there at work, and the phone will ring, and I'll have to, stop what I'm doing and pull it out of my pocket and look at it just to see if it's my wife. It's, if it's something important, if it's an emergency. But I have to do that because it could be my wife. And I'll see that it's just some spam, scam bullshit, and I'll whatever. But I had to stop working and do that shit. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that people expect you to answer the phone at any time and get upset if you don't. I don't like the fact that people expect you to respond to a text right away and all this shit. I just think it was better back in the day when, somebody called you and your phone rang hanging in your kitchen. The phone hanging in your kitchen started ringing. You walked in there, you picked it up and said hello. And that's the only time they could get a hold of you. If you're out playing, down the street or something, then that was it. They didn't talk to you. I had friends that I wouldn't talk to all summer. Right? Because I lived out in the country and they lived in town or whatever. So we'd go all summer, summer vacation would start, and we'd go all summer and wouldn't speak to each other, wouldn't see each other all summer. Then we'd go back to school and we'd be friends again. Hey, how was your summer and all that, like that. So this whole thing of being in constant contact, but it's impersonal contact. It's not one-on-one meaningful deep contact. It's very shallow, thin veneer of humanity, not a deeper soulful connection. It's just a shallow, short. I don't like it. I'm just telling you, I don't like it. I think that it was better back in the day. Phones were better. The whole idea, the whole process of getting a hold of someone, you got a hold of someone when it was important, because you knew trying to call them at any other time over some bullshit was probably just going to waste both of y'all's time. So I'm not a big fan of the phone now, the way, that part of it. It is handy to have a dictionary in your pocket, or a calculator, or your phone can be anything. A level. I mean, that kind of shit comes in handy for what I do. There's just all kinds of shit. I use my phone to find the laser on a laser level. I use it because it's hard to see in that sunshine. Those laser levels are hard to see in the middle of the Florida daytime. But I can use my phone to find it. That's awesome. But it's a trade-off, because now, they're recording me, they're tracking me, and anybody can get a hold of me at any time and interrupt me from what I'm doing. And, even if I'm up on a ladder with both hands full of tools and materials and shit and my phone rings, but I got to set that shit down, walk down the ladder, take it, take my phone out just to see, even though I missed the call, I've got to see if it was my wife and, or something to make sure that she's okay, that there wasn't some kind of emergency. So, yeah, that kind of thing. Now, back in the day, if that was happening, they would have to call my customer, the person I was working for that had a phone in the house, and they would only do that if it was an emergency. So anything else I didn't have to worry about. Nowadays, though, every time the thing rings, I got to wonder if it's an emergency. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that aspect of the cell phone and technology. But I don't use my cell phone to watch videos or any of that other shit either. All I use it for is basically communication. But the overall theme of this entire video is that things really were better back in the 70s and 80s. It's not just us being nostalgic, right? It's not just us hacking on the younger kids and all the dumb shit that's happening today, and we don't like it because we're old codgers and shit. No, that shit was better. Just because you've never experienced it as a younger person doesn't mean that it was worse or it wasn't good. If you had lived during those times, you would understand why it's better. Because when you have no other reference, right? You have no other reference. Then you don't know. You raise a lion or a tiger up in a zoo from a cub. They don't know what it's like to be out on the savannah or in the jungle. They have no idea. So all they know is that, that steak or whatever, that goat leg or whatever they throw in there, oh, that's good. They don't know what gazelle tastes like. They don't know what it's like to chase one down and to drag down a damn wildebeest and stuff. They don't know what it's like to be a real lion or a real tiger. All they know is their cage. They have nothing to compare it to. No contrast. Right? And that's what we have in society today. We have a lot of these younger people who don't even understand. They don't even know what they're missing. They don't even know what better is, because this is all they know. They don't know what it's like to go to the doctor and have a real honest connection with the guy, because you know the guy, or what it's like to just be able to be free and go outside and play because the only phone in the house is in the house. Or what it's like to taste real ice cream or real any kind of food. They don't know. And in that ignorance, and a lot of people want to take that as an insult, ignorance. I'm ignorant about a lot of shit. Ignorant is not an insult. Stupid is an insult. Ignorant is not an insult. If you don't believe me, look the shit up. Ignorant is not an insult. It just means you don't know. I don't know about most of the shit in the universe. I'm the most ignorant person I know because I know how ignorant I am. Everybody else, a lot of other people anyway, not everybody else, a lot of other people think they're damn geniuses and think they know everything. Okay? Go for it. No away. But anyway, these kids are ignorant about how good things can be. So, and that's prohibitive of making things better. So things just keep getting worse because these kids want more and more convenience and faster this and all this stuff. And yeah, convenience is great. I'm not downplaying convenience. I'm downplaying the trade-off. What we give up for convenience and what we give up for that creamy texture of the ice cream and the convenience of it being soft, even though it's been sitting in the freezer for 3 days, right? Though, yeah, it's creamy and it's soft, and it's like soft serve ice cream used to be back in the day. Now they just have ice cream. It's ice cream is just ice cream now. Soft serve ice cream is sitting in your fridge. Used to be we had ice cream and then we had soft serve ice cream. Yeah, but you know that it's a trade off, and that's I don't like the trade off. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you very much to those of you who do that. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description for you too. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot. So thank you very much to those of you who do that. I really do appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.